presenter is Christina. So Nubian, right? Nubia. Let's see, more coffee. Nubia. So she just came to Salt Lake. She's new as of a couple of weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer. How long has it been? A couple of weeks? She had a tire malfunction a couple of weeks ago. She made it last week, and she applied to present. And I said on short notice, I said, "How about you tell everybody about what you're up to and get to know the community?" She said, "Sure." So let's give Christina a big round of applause.
Hi, everybody. As Robert so eloquently stated, I just moved here 5 months ago from Atlanta, Georgia. I am a music artist, but this is also my baby. I'm a publisher, and it's called G Nectar Publishing. So don't mind me, I'm a little nervous. It's easier to sing than it is to speak, so you know. I started as a writer for other people, freelancing back in 2010. I was working at a dental office for 2 years, was up for a promotion, didn't get it. They booted me out. So I was like, okay, I don't want to ask for a job from anybody. Let me do what I like to do for myself, for others, and that was typing, creating documents, that kind of thing. And quiet as kept, I was getting degrees for people. So I was getting degrees for people. So I was basically educating myself for free for a few years and decided to publish a book in 2012. And then I continued to work as a freelancer, but I started to shift my focus. And in shifting my focus, I had to shut down for a while. So I went back into the corporate field for a couple of years and decided how I wanted to redo my business. And this is what I came up with. What happened? What happened? What happened? What? This is what I came up with. As you see, he's a nice, strapping young lad. Is it something I need to do on this end or? Oh, okay. So, okay.
Just one of those days. It's not just me. I thought it was just me, but it's not just me. It's just one of those days.
Okay. All right. So, fast forward to 2016, I've published 3 books, on my way to the 4th book, and decided what I wanted to do and rebooted my business to G Nectar Publishing. So my goal is finding other authors, creatives, professionals who have unique voices, unique needs, and assist them in fulfilling that, as well as educating them on the importance of writing your stories, getting your ideas out there to the world, because a lot of times people have the ideas, but they don't necessarily know how to get them out. And I feel like I have a unique way of doing that. So now these are the services that I provide: copywriting, editing, proofreading, coaching, consulting. I have an individual who just joined me in doing free branding sessions for my clients, marketing strategy and planning, evergreen content, reel creation, logo strategy and creation. My daughter's a graphic designer, so she helps me on that part, and promo flyers. So yeah, a little bit of everything. And these are my goals for the next 6 months to 3 years: to have a consistent flow of authors, business professionals, other individuals who are creatives, to collaborate with other organizations, some philanthropy work, humanitarianism. I have an organization that I'm quite fond of called One Tree Planted that I intend on getting involved with. They plant trees all over the world. And I love trees. I love nature. And we need nature. We need trees. Gotta breathe, toilet paper, that kind of thing. And of course, finding some partners to help me push the business, manage the business, build the business, expand it, and become a fully functional, traditional publisher where I can actually pay authors for their work, give them a bonus, that kind of thing, versus them having to pay to get their books done. And we're out again. So that's it.
Got one back here with Phil.
And just
I should have
one,
never given the microphone up.
And
Robert.
one additional thing, I have been working on my degree for the last 3.5 years. I was going to LA Film School. It's out in California, Los Angeles. And in a month, in a week, I will be done with my degree.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The degree is in entertainment business management, so it covers all sectors of entertainment, music, film, publishing, recreational, you name it. So it's perfect for me because that's what I've been doing for the last decade. So, so I have a unique degree, of course, and I like helping people create the tangible from the intangible. So, yeah.
This is great. You're gonna do really well. I mean, you've got the right personality.
Thank you.
I think you've got a lot of things in your favor. Here's a recommendation I would make. I think it's common for people to say, I can do all these things, and it's really common. You see that a lot. Yeah, we call it like open up the watch. The coat and say, oh, I could buy this watch and I could buy that watch. I'd recommend, you can always list all the things you can do, but I would highlight the things that you think you add a very unique or special approach to.
Gotcha.
So that way, when you're having a conversation like this, you can always say, hey, I can do all these things. I have access or I have experience, but where I add unique value is here, here, and here.
Gotcha.
That way, you're also going to attract the people that want to leverage your unique value, as opposed to, I know you want to be able to attract anyone, but as you get further, what you want to do is you want to put your energy in the place where you add unique value, and you want to be adding that to people who want to leverage that unique value. So always say, hey, I can do all these things, but here is the place where I actually am really good and I add unique value, and give an example or two.
Gotcha.
I think that's great feedback for all of us. It's a hard thing to do. It's easier to do for somebody else. I had a question. So publishing has changed a lot. I've helped publish a couple books. And you're like, I want to be a traditional publisher, where the traditional publishers are struggling to be traditional publishers. So why do you want to be a traditional publisher instead of trying to maybe be part of whatever's changing with publishing and be in the middle of that approach?
Because, of course, everybody's having a hard time with money, as you said. And a lot of people want to publish, but they don't have the funds to. So I would like to be able to give them the funds so they can get their work out, make that extra income, or change their entire life altogether without the stress of, oh, I got to pay $4,000, $5,000 to get this out. And then I also have to pay thousands to do marketing and promotion, because marketing and promotion is the heartbeat of every business. If you don't market and promote, nobody knows you exist. So that's why, because everybody needs a helping hand.
Totally. I think there's a way you can do just that. That's not down the traditional publishing path.
Okay.
If you talk to some of the big publishers, the margins, there's a lot of people that self-publish or take a non-traditional publishing path because although it feels good in the beginning where it's easier, the royalties and the things that get out of it is actually less valuable than the self-publishing. So it's kind of a complicated equation, but I just encourage you to consider, how can you do all the things you want to do, maybe in a less traditional way, because I think you can do both.
Okay.
Antonio, I see Steph, so I'll do Steph, and then I'll make my way to Antonio next.
Great presentation. Congratulations on
Thank
getting
you.
your degree.
Thank you.
I don't know a lot about the industry, and you had mentioned that you would fund the publishing. How does that work?
Well, it's kind of like music. When an artist approaches a label, essentially they're approaching a bank, a specialized bank for what they want to do. So a publishing company is the bank for book authors. They pitch their story, they look at it, say, okay, we like the story. We want to work with you, basically buy your content. This is the deal for buying your contract. We're going to give you an $80,000 bonus up front. This is the trajectory of what we're going to do with your book tour, print, the whole nine, film, whatever. On the back end, you'll receive 50% royalties for this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, I just got lost. What was the question again?
So if you're funding it, I guess I didn't know if you're working with a bank, if you raise a fund. I'm not very familiar how that works.
Right. So that is one of the things that is, I guess you could say, not working right now. I need funding in order to be able to provide that for authors. And a raise? Not at the moment, because I've been focused on school mostly. And then of course, then I moved here. So it's a process. I'm just now really getting out to meeting people like you guys and letting people know what I'm doing. So
Okay, so feedback and then a bit of a rough question for you.
okay.
I do fractional COO work, relevant only for the system portion. It may be a little early to go the direction of wanting to provide people the funds instead of using your time, your money, your energy to build up a customer base, save that money, and eventually use your own money to bootstrap your way through until you get to that next phase. Like when you're in these earlier stages, you're going to hit a point where the system that you build, it doesn't work.
Gotcha.
Then it's time for that next piece.
Okay.
You may have jumped a couple steps to go straight through that because you may pick up some debt that it's not worth it yet.
Right.
Then the rougher question side. So I read a lot, maybe a book or two a week. I just really enjoy it. But I read a lot of garbage.
Okay.
So when you talk about people having unique voices, everybody thinks they have a unique voice. Most of them do not. So then how are you personally defining when you said you want authors with a unique voice? What does that actually mean? Like, it's fluffy, it's nice, but what does it mean?
To me, having a unique voice is those individuals that society, I just have to say it, usually looks down upon because they may not look like the millionaire, the billionaire. They may not look like the pristine look of success, that kind of thing. That's really it in a nutshell. Because I myself, I have a crazy background, but yet I'm here. I'm surviving. I've made something of myself. You know, those people who have those societal, my mind just went blank. Societal statistics, you know what I'm saying? And they find their way to make it versus the people who just kind of like follow the rules. You know, they follow the traditional steps of doing things and they make it. I'm more interested in the rough edges because that's where you find the diamonds. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. I'm going to change my website now. See?
I liked your presentation a lot.
Thank you.
And brevity is always an excellent skill, and you're way ahead right out of the gate.
Thank you.
It sounded to me like when you were describing what you want to do, it's almost like it's a nonprofit. Now that opens up doors for funding. you just have to get organized on that side of things. And then you have, you raise money, usually it could be outside investors, but it could be government funds as well.
Mhm.
And that's the source of the cash that you're talking about, that you can encourage new and upcoming talent. But you might want to consider that pathway. And it's Antonio, I thought he had some great comments, and in a sense that there's a timing for everything too. And you might want to look at, when you get going, maybe it's better to start as a for-profit company, or just the opposite. It's better to start as a nonprofit. And as you start to grow, make that transition into a for-profit entity. So
Okay.
just some options. The nonprofit enables you to go out and raise funds to do what you want to do.
Gotcha. And it's funny you say that, because that was also one of my aspirations, to be able to offer, to be a nonprofit, so that individuals who are going to school for degrees like such as mine, entertainment, arts, liberal arts, where their student loans can be forgiven. Because there's not a lot of companies that say, hey, we'll pay your loans for this type of degree. It's mostly healthcare, tech type degrees that I've seen, where they do that. So I'm glad you said that. Okay. Gotcha.
I'll push back on the nonprofit side. I've got several. I've raised millions of dollars, and I invest in companies as well. The only difference of a nonprofit and a for-profit is a tax exemption status. So without a business model, like, it's more, the funding pool for nonprofits is smaller than there is for for-profits. Board management, there's a lot of logistical stuff that makes having a nonprofit a real pain in the ass, and getting money from strangers is not an easy path. It's easier to do and get people to pay you for stuff. So even nonprofits need a business model and a revenue model. And if you can get a tax exemption, like, you get a little edge. But if you're banking on it, like government grants, like, you can. But again, I've seen more businesses die because they were based on grants that went away, or government funding, and then you don't have a business anymore. So can do it, but it's not as easy, and it's mostly an IRS tax exemption status, and you still need a good business.
Gotcha.
Hi, just a reminder, mic to your mouth. We can't hear you sometimes.
I'm sorry, Oz.
Thank you. Hey, I heard edgy. I heard all these great words. So David Chang on Netflix has a program. Check him out.
Okay.
I would recommend do a model after him. On your podcast, make it a podcast with video. Cook some great food, invite some great minds, have like a little panel of a couple of people eating, talking about issues.
Okay.
It's interesting. I found myself very engaged with David Chang, which is not my favorite person, but I love this model. It works. It kept me captivating. You kept me tuned in on the conversation. Do something different. Do something a little edgy, a little modern, a little fun, and a little tasty.
Okay.
What's the hot ones? You could, yeah. There's lots of ways to do it, for sure. Making money's the hard part, though. Publishing's not an easy way to go, but there's lots of great stories and lots of great people. I think even putting it online, doing it in a clever way, ad revenue, like, there's money in that, for sure. So you get your very own magic mug. This is your first one, or at least the first one in Salt Lake. So with that, we always like to ask the question. I like to ask the question because often, as being an entrepreneur, we're good at giving and helping others, but not great at asking for help. So what can we do? What can the Salt Lake community do to help you, Christina?
Can I be frank?
Yes, please. We
Help me
prefer it
get
that
my
way.
shit together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Easier said than done. Well, keep coming back. We'll help you keep your shit together and get it together. Okay. Well done. You didn't seem as nervous as you told me you were to start. So